A Tinder date turns into a nightmare. I'm Sarah Forgany with KENS 5 News Now. A woman is sharing what happened to her after the man who catfished her, blindfolded and raped her was sentenced this week. Here's Rania Kaur with more.
Janitria Sedlock thought she was swiping right on a man named Michael on Tinder. Instead, it was Chongyan Mounts.
Red flags went off. I ignored them. I noticed the number was a bit odd. Ignored that too. And then he sent me pictures. I was like, oh, okay, we're good. And then we discussed the whole meetup thing, and I'd never do something like that.
Sedlock says the two agreed to meet and she agreed to be blindfolded. But what she didn't agree to was being tied down, and despite telling him no repeatedly, she was raped.
Do I try to get loose? Do I take the blindfold off? If I do that, is he going to kill me? Is he going to strangle me? Or do I just kind of lay here and try to survive? And honestly, I was just frozen in fear.
The memory, a nightmare she's lived with for over a year.
I never saw his face. I was blindfolded. So when he did the perp walk, that was the first time I had ever seen his face.
Over a year after he was arrested, Mounts was sentenced to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to several charges, including sexual assault, online impersonation, and fraud. He's also required to register as a sex offender.
I do wish it could have been more time, but a lot of women don't get anything, so I'm happy with the outcome.
Mounts still has active court cases in other areas outside of Bexar County. Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
An investigation is underway into the stabbing of 3 people outside a bar early this morning. Police say a fight broke out at the Brass Monkey on St. Mary's Street just after 2 a.m. After leaving the bar, police say one of the men took out a knife and stabbed the others. All the victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police detained several people, including the suspect. Barricades are up all across San Antonio. 6 high water rescues overnight by the fire department, and yet drivers are still taking risks. KENS 5 Sue Kalberg is in northeast San Antonio, where someone was rescued.
Here at Old O'Connor and Lookout Road, the barriers are still up, the flares are still on the ground, but as you can see, the water has receded enough that people think it is safe to cross. Now, you can see that there's debris in the roadway. This is one of the dangers of driving into water. If you can't really see the roadway surface, you don't know what might be on the roadway surface. You don't even know if the roadway is really there. And one final note to keep in mind as the water comes and goes here and flows downstream and continues on to the southern part of the city, if the fire department has to come rescue you, the current fee for rescues from the fire department is $645. So it's always something to keep in mind. You could lose your life, you could lose your vehicle, and the city could fine you $645. So as this water continues to move downstream, San Antonio, be safe, turn around, don't drown. You've heard it a million times, and just continue to be safe. Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
Time to check your pantry. Hormel Foods is recalling more than 256,000 pounds of canned beef stew. The USDA says the 20-ounce metal cans of Dinty Moore beef stew may be contaminated with wood. The items were shipped to retailers nationwide, were produced February 4th, 2025, and have a Best Buy date February 2028. At least 3 complaints of wood pieces in the cans were reported, but no injuries. A 13-year-old from North Texas swept this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee, beating out hundreds of the country's brightest young spellers.
ECLAIRCISSEMENT. That is correct.
Amazing. 13-year-old Fizan Zeki dropping to his knees after perfectly spelling this word. This win is extra sweet for him. It comes after he placed runner-up in last year's competition. And a young lady from San Antonio was also among the top spellers this year. This is 13-year-old Siona Kandala. She made her 3rd appearance in the spelling bee, and this time she placed 20th in the entire competition. Congratulations to both of them. And that's KENS 5 News Now. I'm Sarah Forgany.